Tyrion. They had taken shelter beneath a copse of aspens just off the high road. Tyrion was gathering deadwood, while their horses took water from a mountain stream. He stooped to pick up a splintered branch and examined it critically. "Will this do? I am not practiced at starting fires. 𝘕𝘓𝘃 did that for me." "A fire," Brún said, spitting. "Are you so hungry to die, dwarf? Or have you taken leave of your senses? A fire will bring the clansmen down on us from miles around. I mean to survive." "And how do you hope to do that?" Tyrion asked. He tucked the branch under his arm and poked around through the sparse undergrowth, looking for more. His back ached from the effort of bending. They had been riding since daybreak, when a stone-faced 𝘕𝘠𝘳𝘃𝘠𝘕 had ushered them through the bloody gate and commanded them never to return. "We have no choice of fighting our way back," Brún said, "but 2 can cover more ground than 10 and attract less notice. The fewer days we spend in these mountains, the more like we are to reach the riverlands. Ride hard and fast, I say. Travel by night and hole up by day. Avoid the road where we can. Make no noise and light no fires." Tyrion Lannister sighed. "A splendid plan, Brún. Try it as you like, and forgive me if I do not linger to bury you." "You think to outlive me, dwarf?" The sellsword grinned. He had a dark gap in his smile, where the edge of 𝘕𝘠𝘳𝘠𝘠𝘠's shield had cracked a tooth in half. Tyrion shrugged. "Riding hard and fast by night is sure way to tumble down a mountain and crack your skull. I prefer to make my crossings slow and easy. I know you love the taste of horse, Brún, but if our mounts die under us this time, we'll be trying to saddle shadow cats. And if truth be told, I think the clans will find us no matter what we do. Their eyes are all around us." He swept a gloved hand over the high, wind-carved crags that surrounded them. Brún grimaced. "Then we're dead men, Lannister." "If so, I prefer to die comfortably." Tyrion replied, "We need a fire. The nights are cold up here, and hot food will warm our bellies and lift our spirits. Do you suppose there's any game to be had? Lady Lisa has kindly provided us with a veritable feast of salt beef, hard cheese, and stale bread, but I would hate to break a tooth so far from the nearest Maester." "I can find meat." Beneath a fall of black hair, Brún's dark eyes regarded Tyrion suspiciously. "I should leave you here with your fool's fire. If I took your horse, I'd have twice the chance to make it through. What would you do then, dwarf?" "Die, most like." Tyrion stooped to get another stick. "You don't think I'd do it?" You'd do it in an instant, if it meant your life. You were quick enough to silence your friend 𝘕𝘠𝘠𝘠 when he caught that arrow in his belly. Brún had yanked back the man's head by the hair and driven the point of his dirk in under the ear, and afterward told Catelyn Stark that the other sellsword had died of his wound. He was good as dead, Brún said, and his moaning was bringing them down on us. 𝘕𝘠𝘠𝘠 would have done the same for me. And he was no friend, only a man I rode with. Make no mistake, dwarf. I fought for you, but I do not love you. It was your blade I needed, Tyrion said, not your love. He dumped his arm full of wood on the ground. Brún grinned. You're bold as any sellsword, I'll give you that. How did you know I'd take your part? No. Tyrion squatted awkwardly on his stunted legs to build the fire. I tossed the dice. Back at the inn, you and 𝘕𝘠𝘠𝘠 helped me take captive. Why? The others saw it as their duty, for the honor of the lords they served, but not you two. You had no lord, no duty, and precious little honor, so why trouble to involve yourselves? He took out his knife and whittled some thin strips of bark off one of the sticks he gathered to serve as kindling. Well, why do sellswords do anything? For gold. You were thinking Lady Catelyn would reward you for your help, perhaps even take you into her service. Here, that should do, I hope. Do you have a flint? Brún slid 2 fingers into the pouch at his belt and tossed down a flint. Tyrion caught it in the air. My thanks, he said. The thing is, you did not know the Starks. Lord Eddard is a proud, honourable, and honest man, and his lady wife is worse. Oh, no doubt she would have found a coin or two for you when this was all over, and pressed it in your hand with a polite word and a look of distaste. But that's the most you could have hoped for. The Starks look for courage and loyalty and honor in the men they choose to serve them, and if truth be told, you and 𝘕𝘠𝘠𝘠 were low-born scum. Tyrion struck the flint against his dagger, trying for a spark. Nothing. Brún snorted. You have a bold tongue, little man. One day someone is like to cut it out and make you eat it. Everyone tells me that. Tyrion glanced up at the sellsword. Did I offend you? My apologies. But you are scum, Brún. Make no mistake. Duty, honor, friendship, what's that to you? No, don't trouble yourself. We both know the answer. Still, you are not stupid. Once we reached the Vale, Lady Stark had no more need of you. But I did. And the one thing the Lannisters have never lacked for is gold. When the moment came to toss the dice, I was counting on your being smart enough to know where your best interests lay. Happily for me, you did. He slammed stone and steel together again, fruitlessly. Here, said Brún, squatting. I'll do it. He took the knife and flint from Tyrion's hands and struck sparks on his first try. A curl of bark began to smolder. Well done, Tyrion said. "Scum you may be, but you're undoubtedly useful, and with a sword in your hand, you're almost as good as my brother Jaime. What do you want, Brune? Gold, land, women? Keep me alive, and you will have it." Brune blew gently on the fire, and the flames leapt up higher. "And if you die?" "Why then, I'll have one mourner whose grief is sincere," Tyrion said, grinning. "The gold ends when I do." The fire was blazing up nicely. Brune stood, tucked the flint back into his pouch, and tossed Tyrion his dagger. "Fair enough," he said. "My sword's yours, then. But don't go looking for me to bend the knee and milord you every time you take a shit. I'm no man's toddy." "Nor any man's friend," Tyrion said. "I've no doubt you'd betray me as quick as you did Lady Stark if you saw a profit in it. If the day ever comes when you're tempted to sell me out, remember this, Brune. I'll match the price, whatever it is. I like living. And now, do you think you could do something about finding us some supper?" "I'll take care of the horses," Brune said, unsheathing the long dirk he wore at his hip. He strode into the trees. An hour later, the horses had been rubbed down and fed. The fire was crackling away merrily, and a haunch of a young goat was turning above the flames, spitting and hissing. "All we lack now is some good wine to wash down our kid," Tyrion said. "That, a woman, and another dozen swords," Brune said. He sat cross-legged beside the fire, honing the edge of his long sword with an oil stone. There was something strangely reassuring about the rasping sound it made when it drew down the steel. "It will be dark soon," the sellsword pointed out. "I'll take first watch. For all the good it will do us. Might be kinder to let them kill us in our sleep." "Oh, I imagine they'll be long here before it comes to sleep." The smell of the roasting meat made Tyrion's mouth water. I kind of want to reposition my model really quick because it just looks weird. There we go. There we go. Oh well. Brune watched him across the fire. "You have a plan," he said flatly, with a scrape of steel on stone. "A hope, call it," Tyrion said. "Another toss of the dice." "With odd lives at stake." Tyrion shrugged. "What choice do we have?" He leaned over the fire and sawed a thin slice of meat from the kid. "Ah." He sighed happily as he chewed. Grease ran down his chin. "A bit tougher than I'd like, and in want of spicing, but I'll not complain too loudly. If I were back at the Eyrie, I'd be dancing on a precipice in hopes of boiled bean." "And yet you gave the turnkey a purse of gold," Brune said. "A Lannister always pays his debts." Even 𝘠𝘓𝘪 had scarcely believed it when Tyrion tossed him the leather purse. The gaoler's eyes had gone big as boiled eggs as he yanked open the drawstring and beheld the glint of gold. "I kept the silver," Tyrion had told him with a crooked smile, "but you were promised the gold, and there it is." It was more than a man like 𝘠𝘓𝘪 could hope to earn in a lifetime of abusing prisoners. "And remember what I said,"